Welcome to the 2022 Ventura County Fire Department Awards Ceremony. We take this opportunity each year to thank and to recognize the men and women who went above and beyond in their service to our community. We had hoped to hold this event in person. Unfortunately, the recent surge in coronavirus cases has forced us to cancel those plans. What hasn't changed is our appreciation for all of you who continue to show why VCFD is one of the best and why Ventura County is one of the greatest places to call home. You are about to see the best of us from this last year, as well as inspiring examples of life-saving efforts by some of our partners in public safety, as well as members of our community. These men and women are role models of dedication, service, care, and compassion. To all of our winners, thank you. Through your efforts, you've continued to make our department and our community stronger. Now please let me introduce Division Chief Todd Leak and get this award ceremony started.
Thank you, Chief. Our sworn personnel provide excellent service to our community. Even among that excellence, some set themselves apart. We recognize them with Firefighter of the Year awards in each battalion and one Company of the Year award. In Battalion 1, Firefighter Paramedic of the Year is Cameron Lewis from Medic Engine 52 C Shift. Here's a bit of what his nominator said about Cameron's work. Firefighter Lewis is one of the hardest working firefighters I have had the opportunity to work with and supervise. He takes his job incredibly seriously. He is consistently learning, asking questions, and incredibly self-motivated. He volunteered to be one of the department's on-duty COVID officers to ensure any firefighter who needs help with COVID testing or navigating the process of an exposure has the help they need at any time, day or night. Firefighter Lewis has taken it upon himself to write a position paper, changing our outdated cold weather jacket to the new Patagonia and Carhartt jackets. Firefighter Lewis has also identified the need to replace our EMS bags that are carried on all apparatus. He is currently researching and developing bags that will take up less room on the apparatus, are easier to organize and clean, and are much more ergonomic for firefighters to carry. Congratulations, Cameron. In Battalion 2, our Firefighter of the Year is Captain Raul Garcia from Rescue Engine 23 B Shift. His nominator said Raul is the firefighter who is constantly striving to do what is right and take care of anything around him, even when it isn't assigned as his responsibility. He has stepped up to handle the facility issues due to the captain's position being vacant. He is a hard worker, always looking to better himself as a captain and helps others in the promotional process. He selflessly gives of his time, skills, and knowledge as he is a great mentor to those around him, both personally and professionally. He cares deeply about the service that he and his crew provide to the public and does so professionally, thoroughly, and with compassion. Congratulations, Raul. In Battalion 3, the Firefighter of the Year is Firefighter Kevin Lundgren from Rescue Engine 31 B Shift. Kevin was instrumental at Station 31 in the transition from an engine company to a rescue engine company. He surrounds himself with great firefighters and has a great passion for his job. His involvement with rapid intervention crew, forcible entry, ventilation, and the live fire cadres keep his firefighter skills sharp and on point. To give back to the department and make it better, he has spent the past year researching and testing new thermal imaging cameras and has made it possible for us to enter into a hot, smoky, zero visibility environment with the latest technology. These upgraded cameras allow us to better locate victims, identify changing fire conditions, find exits, and will most definitely save lives. His latest project is upgrading our current helmet magnets, making accountability more efficient during emergency operations. His nominator called Kevin a true firefighter and said his loyalty and intense focus on firemanship make him a tremendous asset to the organization. Congratulations, Kevin. In Battalion 4, the Firefighter of the Year is Firefighter Jesus Chuy Perez from Truck 41 C Shift. His nominator describes Chuy as an integral part of Fire Station 41. Daily, he demonstrates an outstanding work ethic, initiative, and a desire to learn and selflessness. He is continually the first one to begin any work needed and never stops until the job is done for all personnel. His positive attitude is contagious, and working with him is truly a pleasure. Additionally, he always seeks to improve those around him, especially our newer members. He also contributes to the department in many ways beyond his assigned shift. He is a member of the following cadres: the Honor Guard, Tactical Emergency Medical Services, and Tiller. Congratulations, Chuy. In Battalion 5, the Firefighter of the Year is Firefighter Paramedic Sam Walters from Medic Engine 53 B Shift. Sam started his public service career as a lifeguard for the County of Ventura, before going to Los Angeles County Lifeguards and working on the VCFD Wildland/Aviation Unit Hand Crew. After he was hired as a firefighter, he completed paramedic school and the United States Lifeguard Association Rescue Program. He is now a certified ocean rescue swimmer and rescue watercraft operator. More recently, he was certified in boat operations, search and rescue by the U.S. Coast Guard-sponsored National Association of State Boating Law Administrators. His nominator said Sam is highly energetic, has a thirst for learning, hardworking, self-motivated, and very committed to serving the district as exemplified by his engagement. Congratulations, Sam. The Company of the Year award is selected from across the entire department. You have already heard examples of the high standards set by our firefighters. This award recognizes a team that has demonstrated exceptional service. Our Company of the Year is Patrol 16, which consists of Captains Damon Dalton and John Gell. Their nominator said Captain Gell and Dalton have been committed to the program for many years and have not only brought it to another level, but have set it up to continue to improve as they move on to other endeavors. They have successfully trained a cadre of highly qualified individuals to carry the program forward. They have built excellent relationships through the area and successfully started utilizing ATVs for emergency operations as necessary. Their professionalism, knowledge, humility, and confidence will be difficult to replace. Congratulations, Captain Dalton and Captain Gell. In the Wildland and Aviation Unit, the Firefighter of the Year is Ryan Matheson. Ryan has worked for the department for 23 years, promoting through the ranks from fire control worker to fire captain. He continues to challenge himself and brings others with him. He is a role model to many, a friend to all, and one many turn to in their time of need. He now serves as a manager in the Vegetation Management Program. His nominator said Ryan's leadership style, caring attitude, and ability to reach out to people is like no other. He stated he was watching The Jungle Book. A scene with the wolf pack came up, and this quote stayed with him. It reminded me of Ryan leading others. Quote, "For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack," unquote. Ryan is a leader, and I look forward to continuing to work with Ryan in the Wildland Division. Congratulations, Ryan. I'll now turn the program over to Assistant Chief Scott Chiardi.
Thank you, Chief. The Ventura County Fire Department would not be successful without our civilian employees and the work they do. Our Employee of the Year awards recognize those who step forward to deliver the highest levels of service internally to our fire family and externally to the people we serve. In the Administrative Services Bureau, our Employee of the Year is Valinda Trujillo from Human Resources. Here's a little of what her nominator said about Valinda's work. It is not often that one single person can affect an entire department. She sets the bar high and is a true representative of excellence when dealing with employees, outside agencies, and managers. Congratulations, Valinda. In fire prevention, the Employee of the Year is Nick Resendez. His nominator wrote that Nick projects a warm, cheerful attitude along with being dependable and efficient. I've seen him resolve conflicts and handle difficult situations with remarkable patience and admirable tact. I believe these characteristics represent all that is good within our agency. This past year, he has focused on expanding his technical skills related to fire codes and ordinances, along with developing best practices and collaborating with others. Nick also participated in the department's smoke alarm campaign by helping with the installation at local mobile home parks. Congratulations, Nick. In the Business Services Bureau, our Employee of the Year is Elena Velasquez. Elena has committed 15 years to county service, most of it with the Ventura County Fire Department. She consistently demonstrates the highest level of expertise. She's integral in interpreting new policy and blending it with past practices to create seamless time reporting. Pride in the work she does is apparent in her careful review, attention to detail, and accountability for her performance. Congratulations, Elena. Our Employee of the Year for Fire Communications Center is Public Safety Dispatcher Katie Farber. Her nominator wrote, "This year I have noticed this dispatcher step up as a teammate in the dispatch center. Not only has she been involved with the communications training officer cadre, but she has also participated with the peer support cadre in one of the most challenging times. In addition to her normal duties, Katie was able to devote time as a peer support member to our fire family in need. As a first responder, Katie's guidance over the phone has assisted in the successful delivery of multiple babies this past year. Congratulations, Katie." In the Support Services Bureau, the Employee of the Year is Sean Primo. Sean has worked at the Annex operations since December 2017. His nominator said Sean has always stepped up to any challenge that was presented to him and is always ready when you need him. Since taking the role of Inventory Management Assistant 3, Sean has taken even more of an active role in annex operations, such as station monthly supply requests, ALS orders, daily warehouse operations, and route schedules. Congratulations, Sean. In community education, the Employee of the Year is Crystal Stratton. As the department's Community Engagement Manager, Crystal recruits, trains, and coordinates more than 80 volunteers who provide more than 2,500 hours of service annually, including work at the vaccination pod, the Holiday Troy Drive, community preparedness expos, blood drives, and hands-only CPR training. Crystal implemented a program called CARES, which allows us to better track and manage volunteer programs. This program has been such a success that neighboring agencies have reached out to Crystal for consultation. Crystal leads VCFD's participation in the Spark of Love Holiday Toy Drive, which collected over 100,000 toys to serve more than 16,000 children in Ventura County. Congratulations, Crystal. Among the volunteers we just talked about, our Volunteer of the Year is Frank Hutchinson. Frank has been a volunteer for more than 13 years and has donated over 1,200 hours of his time to the department. Frank has supported community education events, the logistics program, incident support, deliveries, the vaccination pod, junior fire academies, safety awareness days, installing smoke alarms, and assembling hard of hearing kits. Frank's actions, integrity, and work ethic as a volunteer demonstrate his heart for the community and the department. Congratulations, Frank. For our final set of awards, it's my pleasure to introduce Assistant Chief Chad Cook.
Our next award recognizes employees and members of the public who went above and beyond expectations to rescue someone from danger or save a life. A certificate of recognition may be given to acknowledge a fire department employee for outstanding performance beyond the normal requirements of her or his assignment, or a specific career accomplishment. A certificate of appreciation similarly acknowledges exceptional service to the fire department, another person, or the community by members of the community, organizations, or other public safety agencies. And the Life-Saving Award Medal is presented to an employee of the fire department or another public safety agency to recognize the individual's direct actions beyond what would normally be expected in the effort to save a life during an incident. I want to just pause for a moment and talk to people exactly the job of a firefighter on these types of incidents. Oftentimes when we respond to emergency calls, what happens is decisions have to be made, and those decisions are made often in a split second. Oftentimes there's not opportunity to have discussions with people to develop a best plan. We react often, and that environment of reaction has consequences. And usually those consequences are borne by the first responder. And I just want to explain today that as we move into these award medals and we talk about these people and the incidences that they respond to, I want you to understand exactly what they actually are feeling during these times. Having read through all of the reports and having looked at all of the members that were involved, I completely understand the different decisions that are made when we act to save a life. I have the privilege today to recognize a group of people who worked together to save a life and earn these awards. On March 18th, 2020, an intoxicated juvenile was on the roof of the 99-cent store in Camarillo. They were threatening to jump. She refused to come down and began throwing concrete roof tiles at Ventura County Sheriff's deputies and firefighters, not to mention patrons of the store below. Deputies had arrived on scene along with Battalion 28 and firefighters from both Engine Company 54 and Truck Company 54, along with Squad 50. A coordinated effort was made to keep the girl safe and the public safe. Squad paramedics and 2 deputies used the truck's aerial ladder to access the roof on the opposing side of the building. So if you can get a picture of this on what's taking place, they're talking to the person, they're trying to do what they can to keep them occupied while we try to access access the roof in a safe location where we can render some aid and talk to the person at their level. The truck crew approached the parapet above the subject and got into position to attempt to grab the subject and pull her to safety. Crews on the ground successfully talked the subject to a position close to the parapet where the truck crew was able to forcibly pull her off the tile roof, over the parapet and onto a flat roof section. There, she was restrained by deputies, sedated by medics, and placed into a Stokes basket and hauled off the roof to an awaiting ambulance, bringing a safe ending to the incident. For their roles in this incident, we are issuing several different awards. We award certificates of recognition to Derek Hawthorne, Kimo Yukauka, Jose Ramirez, Ryan Resnick, Ryan Kosia, Corey Gropp, Chad Meehan, and Battalion Chief Michael Weisenberg. To Ventura County Sheriff's Deputies Frank Corona and Christopher Riggs, we present certificates of appreciation. And to Bob Schuett and Christian Quagliata, who were directly involved in pulling the patient from the roof, we present Life-Saving Award medals. Thank you to everyone involved. Again, I can't preface enough the split-second timing and actions that take place by our firefighters and all that are involved to bring safe resolve to these type of incidents. I applaud you for your service. In addition to the Life-Saving Award Medal, the Life-Saving Citation Medal recognizes a community member whose direct actions in an effort to save a life during an emergency situation goes beyond the ordinary performance expected. On January 24th, Bonnie Chapman was not feeling well and laid down to rest in her bedroom. A short while later, her 8-year-old daughter, Abby, heard her mom making strange noises. Lee Chapman, a senior deputy for the Ventura County Sheriff's Office who has an emergency medical technician certification, went to check on his wife and found her in the bathroom, agonal breathing with no pulse. He moved her to a position on the floor, called 911, and began CPR. Lee tasked Abby and her 11-year-old sister, Taylor, with putting the dogs outside so paramedics would not have to deal with the animals and have no interruptions. Taylor also was told to call their grandparents and tell them to come over. She was able to calmly tell her grandparents what she thought was happening and make sure they were on their way. The girls were directed to wait outside to wave down the fire engine and ambulance when emergency crews arrived. Lee continued to administer CPR on his wife until paramedics arrived to take over her care and get her to the hospital as quickly as possible. Because of their quick actions, Bonnie Chapman was able to return home from the hospital 2 days later with 0 deficits. No award will ever compare to the blessings of continuing to have Bonnie in their lives. But to Taylor and to Abby, we present life-saving citation medals, and to Lee Chapman, a life-saving award medal. Well done. Our next award recognizes a firefighter who did not stop answering the call even after he was off shift. On September the 13th, firefighter paramedic Chris Gaskin had returned home following his shift at Fire Station 34. While preparing to take his son to school, he heard sirens and quickly checked a computer-aided dispatch app that most of us have on our phones. Without hesitation, Chris ran approximately 150 yards to the Redino residence, a residence that he was familiar with, where an AMR paramedic resides. He realized it was his son Massimo that was pulseless and apneic on the driveway next to his car. He was accompanied by his mother and brother. Chris immediately checked for vital signs and started chest compressions and sustained those efforts until Medic Engine 134 arrived in an AMR ambulance approximately 2 minutes later. Throughout the duration of this call, Chris assisted the attending crews with advanced life-saving measures, provided interventions, and was instrumental in providing information and comfort to the Redino family. During the event, Massimo was defibrillated approximately 3 times to restart his heart. He later walked out of the hospital and returned home. For your efforts, Chris, we present you with the Life-Saving Award Medal. Excellent job. One thing I do want to add to this type of call is firefighters are never off work. We are never off duty. Oftentimes we are presented with different things in the community, and this is just another example of one of our members off duty that realizes there's a call for someone in need, and they spring into action to use their skills to assist members of our community. Thanks again, Chris, for what you did there. Our final award today is the Medal of Meritorious Service. It recognizes performance by a Ventura County Fire Department employee under extreme emergency conditions where reasonable safety practices are utilized, and the effort to save a life goes beyond the typical performance expected. Today we honor firefighter Mike Fuller. On February 22nd, a 10-year-old girl was on top of the Casa Pacifica building in Camarillo, threatening to jump. Truck 54, along with Ventura County Sheriff's deputies, responded to this emergency. A first attempt to climb onto the roof from the backside of the building caused the girl to climb even higher up on top of the roof. Truck Company 54 raised the aerial ladder just below the roof line on the side of the building so the deputies could access the roof without the girl seeing them. While personnel on the ground tried to calm the girl, talk to her, and keep her attention, she continued to move about the roof, peer over the edge, and threatened to jump. So if you can picture this entire event unfolding, here is a girl who continues to move higher and higher in her roof position. A ladder is being raised. We can get to her from the backside with sheriff's deputies so they can begin some intervention. Down below, firefighters and other people are on the ground trying to talk to her, take her mind off what's going on so we can get help up to her. If you could start to picture all the stuff that is unfolding. The girl then sat down on the ledge of the roof with her legs dangling over the edge. While the deputies waited for instructions from the sergeant, firefighter Mike Fuller asked to go up the aerial ladder to get into a position, which was approved by his company officer. Once on top of the ladder, Mike was about 50 feet from the girl. Eventually, the girl announced to all that she was going to jump and started a countdown of her own. She rotated her body about 90 degrees and started counting as if she was going to jump at the end of the countdown. There was no doubt among the firefighters and the deputies on scene that she was serious about her actions and her threats to jump from the roof. When she got to 7, Mike had raced across the roof and grabbed the girl. By grabbing the girl, he then rolled down the pitch of the roof with the girl, fighting with him the entire way, and stopped about halfway down. Through Mike's decisive actions, he risked his life to save that girl, who was eventually taken to the hospital for her injuries and a psychological evaluation. Firefighter Mike Fuller, we proudly present the Medal of Meritorious Service to you. Great job, Mike.
That concludes the 2022 Ventura County Fire Department Awards Ceremony. Thank you again to all of our winners for your service and to everyone watching for helping us celebrate their work.